Hello everyone, welcome to Friday's Virtual Math. So let's get started. 10, 100, 1000. We have been multiplying by these numbers. We have been dividing by these numbers. 10, 100, 1000 are multiples of 10. We can always call them multiples of 10 because when you multiply 10, you get them. So 10 times 10 is 100. 100 times 10 is 1,000. 1,000 times 10 is 10,000, and so on. So these are all multiples of 10. Sometimes mathematicians are lazy people. They can be lazy, okay? So they don't like to write 1,000 or 1,000,000 even. They like to have symbols to write these numbers. And the symbols, they're called exponents. Exponents, you've probably seen them before. They would be something like a number and then a little number here. This is 10 to the third power, or maybe you've seen 10 to the second power. Those are exponents. Say it out loud. Exponents, exponents. Those are the little numbers that go on top of a big number. And today you're going to learn about what they are and how they work. So what I need you to do is to take out this worksheet I gave you yesterday. If you didn't bring it home, I put it on the computer, and please print it out or copy it onto a piece of notebook paper, but you should have it, okay? So how does this work? Well, I'm going to start here. 10, okay? Sorry. Could you just copy this for me? I haven't explained anything yet, but 10 to the 1 is just 10. It's 110, and it equals 10. But if I go to this column, so just copy this in. I know right now you're like, what? This makes no sense. Just copy this in. 10 to the 1, 10, and 10. But now we're going 1 over, okay? And I'm going to go up here. And let's say I have 10 times 10. Okay, what does that equal? 10 times 10. Well, we know that equals 100. All right. And then do you notice that there are two tens? There's also two zeros. So 100 is 10 times 10. It has two tens in it, or two zeros. So the lazy mathematicians would call that 10 to the second power. Exponents are also called powers, powers of 10. So I want you to copy that. I want you to copy 10 to the second, 10 times 10, 100. Now, if we keep going, and if I had 10 times 10 times another 10, so three tens, 10 times 10 is 100, times 10 would be 1,000. You put 1,000 here. So notice I had 110, two tens, three tens. That's why I have 1, 2, 3 zeros. See where that comes from? Three tens multiplied are three zeros. So then the lazy mathematician could call that 10 to the third power. Because 10 to the third power is 10 times 10 times 10. 10 to the third power is 10,000, or is 1,000. It's three zeros. So 1,000 has three zeros, 10 times 10 has three tens, 10 to the third has three tens. So copy that in. Now we're going to go here. Now we'll start up here, 10 to the 4th. Okay, so how many 10s multiplied? 4. 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. Okay, so then what does that equal? Well, it's 4 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 10,000. So 10 to the 4th is 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, which is 10,000 because there's 4 zeros. So copy that in. Now let's go here. And this time, if we go from 10 to the 4th, now we go to 10 to the 5th. Okay, so that's 5 tens. 10 times 10 times 10, there's 3. Times 10, there's 4. Times 10, there's 5 tens. So how many zeros? 5 zeros. Put our comma there. So 10 to the 5th is 5 tens. 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 is 100,000 because there's 5 zeros. And finally, you should definitely have the pattern by now. It's 10 to the 6th. And how many tens do we multiply? 6. So 10. Sorry, it's hard for me to write with this mouse. 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. 6 tens. And that is 1 million. There's 6 zeros. Oh, yeah, it's hard to write with a mouse. Don't like it at all, but I do it. Okay. So, I'm just recording that so we have it for later. So that's what powers of 10 are. They're just a symbol to stand for that number. So instead of writing a million, you can write 10 to the 6th. Instead of writing 100, you can write 10 to the 2nd. Instead of writing 1,000, you can write 10 to the 3rd. Okay? Or instead of writing 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, you can write 100,000 or 10 to the 5th. All right. So let's put this to practice. Please take out this worksheet for me. And now we're just going to test our memory. And you're going to want to flip back and forth. Sorry, it's supposed to erase itself when it goes to a new slide, but things don't always work the way we want them to. All right, good enough. And let me just paste our chart here. We're going to go back and forth between charts, right? So now, this is just to see, did we pick up what we learned? So for this worksheet, it gives us 10 to the 2nd. So how do we write that as multiplication? Oh, we write 10 times 10. What's the value? Well, 10 times 10 is 100. There's 2 10s, so there's 2 zeros. Does that make sense? Here, I'll skip down to this one. 10 times 10 times 10. How many 10s is that? 3. So what's the exponent? 10 to the 3rd. Okay. I want you to fill out the rest of these. So do 10 to the 4th, show the multiplication and its value. Do 10 to the 5th, multiplication and its value. Figure this one out. How many 10s are there? So what's its exponent? What's its value? bring those in on Tuesday. So that's your independent work. Okay? Good luck.